So anyways, we can easily figure out by just asking ourselves those two questions that it's B for our answer here. So let's do another example here. So let's say that we're looking at an undefined slope where it's not a slope, it's going up and down, it doesn't pass that vertical line test. So x is greater than a number or x is greater than or equal to a number, we will shade to the right of our line, okay? Because it's getting bigger, right? If it's x is less than a number or x is less than or equal to a number, you will shade to the left, okay? For zero slope, so if it's crossing at the y-axis, you're still going to shave above or below. But this one is a little bit different because you have a line that's going up and down. So let's look at an example here. Graph x is greater than -2. So that means our line is crossing at the point at -2. So we have a line right there, and it's dotted because it's greater than. And because it's greater than, we will shade everything to the right of that line. This one is x is less than or equal to -2. So again, change your equation to x equals -2. That means we have a line crossing at the point x is -2. And so it's going to be a solid line because it's greater or less than or equal to. Then we're going to shade everything to the left of that line because we are going lower than -2. X can be anything less than -2. So you're shading everything to the left of that line. And so choose the type of line here. Is it going to be solid or dotted? X is greater than or equal to 3. Well, it's greater than or equal to, so it's going to be a solid line. And then choose where to shade, left or right. Because it's greater than or equal to, that means x can be anything larger or equal to 3. So we're going to shade to the right of that line. So the last little thing with these is that when you are trying to graph inequalities, we're still going to follow the same steps as inequalities, except we have to get it into y equals mx plus b. And so for instance, on this one, we're going to add 3x on both sides, okay, to get y isolated. And you'll have -2y is less than 3x plus 12. And then you're going to divide by -2. Now, if you remember correctly, when you divide by a negative with inequalities, you have to flip that sign. So we will end up with y is greater than -3/2 x minus 6. And now you can follow those steps to graph that line and decide if it's solid, dotted, left, or right, or above or below. And so let's do number one, 2x plus 5y is greater than or equal to -10. And so first we are going to subtract 2x on both sides. And then we're going to divide by 5, but because it's a positive, we're not going to flip the sign. So this one here is automatically out, and this one here is automatically out. And because we are looking at -2x, our answer is going to be D. Let's go look at 3x minus 2y is greater than or equal to 10. You're going to subtract 3x on both sides. And I already know we're going to be dividing by a negative, so I know that we can knock out A and D. So we only have B and C as an options. And then when you divide by that -2, it's going to make your fraction a positive. So this answer right here is our correct answer. So example one, the cool thing about inequalities is that we can also check our work to see if it's going to be a true statement in the first place, right? And so what we can do is we have in each of these points, we have an x and we have a y. And so we can plug in x and y into our equation and see if they work one at a time, right? And so on this one, let me go back, sorry. If x is 0 and y is -3, you can kind of walk through those process and see if it's a true statement. Well, 5 times 0 is 0. -2 times -3 is going to give you a positive 6. Is 6 less than or equal to 6? Yes, so A would be a true statement. And we can continue that process, right? 5 times 5 is going to give you 25. 5 times -2 is going to give you -10. And then 25 minus 10 is going to give you 15. 15 is not less than or equal to 6, so that's not a true statement. 5 times 1 is 5. -2 times -2 is going to give you positive 4. 5 plus 4 is going to give you 9. That's not a true statement. 5 times 3 is going to give you 15. -2 times 3 is going to give you a -6. And then 15 minus 6, again, that's not going to work either. So A is our answer here. And so graph the inequality x is less than or equal to 4 on the coordinates plane. Decide whether to use a solid or dashed line. And then it's always nice to check our work. And so we can always use the point 0, 0 to see if our answer is correct, right? And so for instance, with this one, we're going to have a line, a dotted or a solid line at 4.